What's up, guys, and welcome to my review for Justice League. This is the 5th film in the DCEU, and it's technically co-directed by Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon. Zack Snyder had the first half of the film as something tragic happened in his life that he had to exit the project, and Joss Whedon came in to do some significant rewrites and reshoots. It definitely does feel like a Zack Snyder movie. I mean, just from the beginning of it and the first half of the movie, for sure, it feels like a Zack Snyder film, and in the second half of the movie, it feels a little more like a Joss Whedon movie, but it's not extremely jarring, the change of tone, because I think they honed the same kind of tone from beginning to end. And this is a lighter movie. This does have humor in it. You could definitely tell that Joss Whedon brought some of his humor into this movie, especially with characters like the Flash and things that Aquaman would say. There's one scene in particular in this movie that's towards the end, but actually maybe it's in the middle of the movie. And it feels like a very Joss Whedon kind of scene with just some of the lines of dialogue and everything. I feel like that he had a strong grip on some of this movie, which is a good thing because, you know, I didn't leave the theater hating Justice League, and I didn't leave the theater loving Justice League. I actually left the theater just saying that was okay, and, you know, I'm actually happy that it came out, you know, like it did, because it could have turned out a lot worse from, you know, all the production problems that this movie had. But it came out fine. Could it have come out better? Yes, maybe if they delayed it a little bit more and put it out like next summer or something. I think that they could have polished some things. I mean, some scenes in this movie feel extremely rushed. There's things that happen in this film, and the scene ends, and then we cut to something else, and then something happens, and the scene ends, and we cut. It's like this movie has an extremely quick pace to it, but I do feel like since they were only allowed to make a 2-hour movie with end credits, you know, they had to cut a lot out of this film, and you could definitely tell at some points scenes kind of just end and then it continues. I mean, it doesn't necessarily take you out of the film, but you definitely notice, you know, this kind of could have been explained a little more, or, you know, this could have been given a little more depth. I mean, these characters, the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg in particular, they were really never on screen before in the cinematic universe, and this was the first time that we actually got them on screen and their characters and to see what they're all about, and they had to introduce these three characters in one movie. They didn't, you know, go the route of giving everyone a standalone movie, then giving the Justice League. What this film had to do was introduce three heroes and make us care about them. And for me, personally, did I care about them? Not necessarily. This has the same kind of problem for me as I had with Rogue One. I liked the characters. They were very likable characters. I'm talking about Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash. But did I care about them? No. I feel like if anything happened to them, I wouldn't really care because it's just kind of fun to watch. And they're very likable. You know what I mean? I wasn't really invested into the story, really. I mean, with this villain, this Steppenwolf, whatever you want to call him, everybody says it differently. So, you know, he is this big CG villain, and honestly, he's one of the worst villains ever put to film. What he was trying to accomplish was really the most simple thing, you know, a villain could do. He's trying to take over the world or whatever, and there's these boxes that he has to collect, and once he has them all, he can rule the world or whatever. You know, pretty much it's a very stupid, cliched story that nobody cares about. The only thing you care about is watching the heroes get together and fight him, because the villain is so bad in this movie, and he looks awful. The CGI in this movie is really not that good. I mean, some of it is fine. I would say like 25% of the CG in this movie is fine, but 75% of it is extremely noticeable, and maybe that would have been another reason to postpone the movie a little bit more instead of, you know, rushing it out into theaters. After everything happened with Zack Snyder, instead of saying, okay, let's give this to a different person and still get it out at the same time. You know, they already had, what do they have? They already had Wonder Woman this year. If they wanted to do 2 movies in 1 year, they should have done Justice League and then Aquaman, which I believe is coming out at the end of the next year. That probably would have been the smart way to do it, but what we have is a rushed film that does definitely feel kind of rushed, with really not that great CG most of the time. I mean, the acting is fine. Ben Affleck, you know, his arc as Batman continues from Batman v Superman, and that is one of the things that I actually did kind of care about in this movie. And Wonder Woman, you care about her because of her movie. You know, she was fantastic. And that movie was great, and in this movie it's no different. She's the same kind of character, and they did a good job with her. And Clark Kent. I'm not going to say anything about it because people will go crazy, but, he's in the movie. You see him in the trailers. You don't see Superman in the trailers, but, I mean, the movie's called Justice League. What do you think? Do you really think Superman is not going to appear? I mean, come on, it's not really a spoiler. I mean, whatever. Plus, I mean, I think Henry Cavill even put on Instagram a year ago or something, he posted a picture of a suit on Instagram of the S or whatever. How is that resolved? I'm not going to say, but I will say everything with him in this movie was, personally for me, my favorite part of the movie. Every time he's on screen, you're always brought back to his character and his story and what he was going through, and finally, when he comes on screen as whoever he is, it's great, and I was a really big fan of it. And in the end of the day, I didn't really care about the story. I didn't really care about the scenario. It was fun watching these characters get together, but really I wasn't emotionally invested or as invested as I wanted to be. So I'm going to give Justice League 3 out of 5 stars. Do I recommend you see it? Yeah, it's a fun movie to watch, but it's nothing. There's nothing special about this movie, I feel. The way that it was done, it was just kind of, there it is, the beginning, middle, end, there's the film, that's it. There's nothing really special about it. There's nothing really memorable about it either. Sure, these characters are coming together, but the circumstances that they're put in, it's just like there's no stakes. There's really no consequence. You don't feel like any of these characters are really in danger. It is what it is. But, like I said, 3 out of 5. So, guys, comment your thoughts. Do you plan on seeing Justice League? Did you see it already? What did you think about it? Don't leave any spoilers in the comment section. But, still, you can leave your thoughts. Also, guys, you can subscribe to this channel for reviews coming in the future. You got Disney Pixar's Coco coming out next week. You also have I guess Pixar just announced that they'll be releasing a teaser trailer for The Incredibles 2 tomorrow. I'll definitely react to that. Very excited about that. Guys, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links to those are in the description of this video. And I'm also doing live reactions and commentaries to Season 2 of Stranger Things. My reactions to Season 1 are up on this channel now. Guys, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching my non-spoiler review for Justice League. Over and out.
Yeah!